Lots of news to get through tonight. Joining me with the latest is the Daily Telegraph's National Affairs Editor and my Outsiders co-host, James Morrow. James, let's jump right into it. In my editorial, I discussed the victory of convicted terrorist Abdul Nasser Benbrika in the High Court today. Benbrika has now had his Australian citizenship restored, and former Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton cancelled it after he was found guilty of planning these terror attacks in the early 2000s. This man is an ongoing risk, and it was noted in court that he's not abandoned his extremist views, James.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there's a mystery, Rita, to all of this here. Why would Benbrika want to stay in a country that he so clearly hates? I mean, he came here from Algeria, had all sorts of crazy Islamist beliefs here, wanted to be a terrorist, wanted to lead a terrorist cell and cause mayhem, death, and destruction here on his adopted country. And yet, apparently, this place that he hates so much that he wants to commit terror attacks against its people and the nation, he still wants to stay and keep his citizenship. Rita, I simply do not get that. And I also, frankly, don't get what the High Court was talking about here, except for the fact that this seems to be a real case of sort of lawfare here in attempting to, use the courts to come at a situation that I think most people with common sense would say, no, we'll boot the guy.
Absolutely. Now to Sydney University, James, where administrators have had to shut down an event promoting a global intifada. The event, which was to be held by a socialist group today, you've covered this story. What is going on at our universities?
Well, Rita, sadly, the same thing that's been going on at so many of universities around the world, including the United States and the UK and here in Australia, of course, as well. Essentially, they wanted to have a meeting on campus at the university. They put up flyers around the place, and the flyers, Rita, were just incredible because not only did they call for a global intifada, which is a terrorist uprising against, oppression, whatever they're calling it this week, but it also, the poster had on it a picture of a bulldozer that was being used by Hamas to breach the security fence in Israel on October 7, staging the way for those horrific terrorist massacres. So this is what they were glorifying. Now, I found out about this yesterday afternoon. We published a story on it, contacted the university by about 8:30 last night. They informed me that the event was not going to go ahead. But I also hear that the university, there's problems with posters of hostages being torn down, as we've seen elsewhere around the world. So, Sydney University, our universities here, Rita, are not exempt to this sort of lunatic anti-Zionist pro-Hamas shilling that we're seeing around the world, pushed by the loony academic left.